Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luca Parrott, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks Podcast.
Hey, what about our Comic Capers podcast?
What about us?
Oh, I'm going to miss that. We'll get to that. All right, kids. Welcome back to another episode of Comic Capers. The last one, perhaps? Well, we'll get to that. Anyway, I am Phil. Joining me, as always, it is...
Waka waka waka, little hellfire.
And how do we go out with a bang? Well, as many young ladies do. Oliver Queen.
Nice.
Thank you. So today, we're going to be doing our top 10 Green Arrow stories, plus talk about that 80th anniversary issue.
Oh boy.
Enjoyed it that much, huh?
No, I liked it.
I mean, I think they did a better job than like the Aquaman one.
Well, hands down. Yeah, that's not hard to do though.
Hey. All right. So, did you want to talk that first, or do you want to get to our top 10 list first?
Up to you, Phil.
Let's do the top 10 first.
Okay, not a problem.
I would say ladies first, but since there's none here, Lilith, would you like to go first?
Hey now.
Well, she doesn't act like a lady.
You know what? You're lucky my camera's off. Otherwise, you'd be getting.
I know I'm number one. I know. Whoa.
Okay, yeah, I'll go first. No problem. Philly. So my first pick, and this is in no particular order for me. This is just like the quintessential. Like, yeah. I think what this list was inspired by was you guys, if you recall, I like Arrow, but I felt like it wasn't. People weren't really that familiar because they were shocked that in the first episode he killed somebody.
Yeah.
But he's killed plenty of times. I think that's all these issues. He kills somebody. Spoilers. Well, not all of them. This first one, maybe not. This one comes from Green Lantern. I know. Stay with me. Green Lantern 87. It's What Can One Man Do? It's a backup story, obviously. And it's where he it's about Star City's mayor, Jack Major. He doesn't want to run for re-election. And so they're looking for this replacement. And then Oliver Queen names comes up. And Oliver's like, he's kind of useless at this point. Let's just be honest. And so he's like deciding, does he really want to be Green Arrow? And so they kind of like, hey... They call up his Justice League friends for advice, and they're like, don't do it. And then he kind of resigns being Green Arrow, and then, that whole thing. And then Oliver comes across an angry mob, and he watches this young black kid get shot. Now, this is, God, how long has this been going on? Because this is from, what year is this? 71?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, woo, when I was rereading this, I was like, Green Arrow, this is where it really sets him apart from Batman, because in the 50s, he'd been in space, and so they were, really doing, this social justice warrior thing before social justice warrioring was a thing, I think is what I appreciate about this story. And so, yeah, he decides to become mayor, basically, in this issue. And, yeah, because there's riots everywhere, so it's just, it's so timely, unfortunately, I guess, too, that it just made sense to have it.
And again, too, I put up the first page of the story and not the cover because this is the backup in a Green Lantern story issue. Yeah, so. Yeah, no, I mean, they were doing a lot, that was the whole Denny O'Neil thing, just, kind of like...
I thought that it was so appropriate that Denny decided that he wanted to do this because he was the one that kind of, made him a little goofy, said it was okay for him to be the whole Batman, the green Batman pastiche. That's where it all comes from. but he saw an opportunity to really set this rich guy apart from Bruce Wayne, and he did it so impeccably. Like, his plan for Green Arrow was just so amazing, and this is the era that I really love of Green Arrow.
Yeah, do you think that was the whole plan? It's like, well, hey, Denny got Batman back on track after, like, you know, the campy era. So it's like, hey, can you do that with Green Arrow?
And it's okay for Green Arrow to be campy because look how he's dressed. He's modern day Robin Hood, and that's okay. And so it makes, like, the things that they decided to do with Green Arrow when you look in retrospect, it just makes kind of, like, perfect sense when you think about what that character is supposed to be, what he modeled himself after. So.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Oliver being mayor, I just wish that the TV show had actually made him competent, because he was actually a competent mayor. So.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they even did that, that 1 year later era. They kind of tried to do that again with Oliver as mayor.
Yeah. And I definitely, if you haven't ever really read any of that stuff, I think that's where you should start if you want to get into Green Arrow personally. I don't think you need all the golden age and like the 50s and stuff. Like, it's nice to know, but it doesn't really inform the modern character. This right here is where you really start to, this is where the modern character comes from.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of time where he's out of, yeah. Oh, wait. Who is this? Someone says, Arrow made me a big Green Arrow fan and hurt my soul. I prefer somewhat Cam Green Arrow. Is that you, Noel? I don't know. I'll have to look at
Arrow
that.
was a double-edged sword. Like, as you can see, my icon for today is Justin Hartley. Nobody tells Stephen Amell. I like Stephen Amell. He's an okay guy, but I just prefer Justin Hartley's iteration the more that I think about it.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. I don't know. I might have to get this slight edge to Amell, but yeah, I mean, it's.
Well, he got to do it longer and it was his own show.
True.
But they really thoroughly ruined that character. He was a complete idiot, couldn't do anything on his own. He basically ended up a Power Ranger.
Well, I mean, who, Amell?
Yeah.
Well, again,
he got his own show taken from a side character.
Well, again,
you know.
Well, again, that's the CW formula.
He didn't end up with Black Canary when they should have totally stole Justin Hartley's Green Arrow and without hiring him. That's all I'm saying, because he still doesn't know with Black Canary.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, if I'm going to go with the original, they did it better. It was Felicity. Not Felicity. It was, the girl that can't be named anymore. Chloe.
All right.
So what's your pick? What's your first pick? Is it in any order or?
Nah, we won't go in any. No, again, same with you. No particular order. But since you mentioned that one, maybe I'll bring up. I think this is the oldest one on my list here. Let me bring up the cover. Brave and the Bold '85. It's like when we get the first modern Green Arrow.
Of course, it's in Brave and Bold. Batman and Green Arrow, the two same characters. How are we going to differentiate?
And also too, I believe that's also another Denny O'Neil. So it's
Yeah, he's a definitive guy on this character.
Oh yeah, definitely in this era. So again, what was this like late '60s? But yeah, this is like when he first gets the goatee, and he even mentions in the costume in the comic, he's like, "Oh, I haven't been Green Arrow in a while." He's like, "And here's my fancy new costume," and it's the green costume we all know from the '70s and '80s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, it was just a simple story where it's just like a senator's been assassinated.
The senator's been shot. It's like, I guess you shouldn't have been wearing all those bright colors near Batman, buddy.
Oh, but also then they're like, oh, we want Bruce Wayne to replace them at least temporarily. It's like, well, oh, that's a bad decision. But I mean,
that's Tony Stark levels of bad decision.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God! Remember when Tony Stark was Secretary of Defense, kids?
Oh, I do.
Oh, I do too. But no, I thought it was a decent enough for its time too. It's like where Denny reinvents and reintroduces the world of Green Arrow, and it's like, and you kind of have to differentiate between it's like, okay, we got two rich guys, two costume heroes. It's like, how are they different? And oh my God! But then at the end, because they both talk to this psychiatrist who's like the son of the senator, and just not even knowing, either one of them's on the case at first, or even knowing that either one of them did it. They both reveal their identities to the psychiatrist, who at the end, like volunteers to like wipe his memory so he doesn't remember who either one of them are.
Yeah.
I'm like, whose idea was that? That sounds like a Bruce idea to me.
I agree.
I could see Batman, but I don't know. Green Arrow just seems like he's like, oh, okay, whatever. You know who I am. Because back then, again, everyone had a secret identity. Now these days, it seems like Batman, Spider-Man, and Daredevil are pretty much the only guys who see. Even Superman doesn't have a secret identity anymore. Thank you, Ben.
Yeah. I mean, now it was a time and place for that, I guess. It's very old-fashioned at this point, I guess.
I guess, but I mean, it kind of makes sense too, because it's like, oh,
well, Bruce, he's a billionaire. He doesn't want to be sued.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, that makes sense. Sure. And Spider-Man,
you want to be able to sleep at night.
Exactly. I mean, he lives in Marvel's New York. Like, ain't no way, buddy. Ain't no way.
Yeah, you have drive-bys every 20 minutes. Yeah, just by some super villains. But yeah, Brave. But that Brave and the Bold series is so weird. Like I said, the whole, psychiatrist, son of the senator, wiping his mind at the end. Kristen and I did one with the Teen Titans. It was Batman and Teen Titans. This kid shows up at the mansion. He's like, his father was a friend of Bruce Wayne's, but the friend died, and he put in his will, if anything happens to me, I want Bruce Wayne to raise this kid.
Yeah, because he's a billionaire.
Yeah, so he's living at the mansion, but meanwhile he's a total brat and stuff, and then
no orphan costume for you.
And then, of course, he finds out who Batman and Robin are. He sells them out to like these mobsters and stuff. But then at the end, he gets killed. And then we were laughing about this at the end because the last page, they bury him, of course, in that Wayne, that graveyard
they
behind.
They killed a kid.
Oh yeah, it was a bratty
teenager. I missed that story.
He was a bratty teenager, Lil. Come on.
Yikes.
But they bury him in
You're
that.
You're gonna have to send me that. You're gonna have to send me what issue that is.
I will. Because and then they bury him in that Wayne family cemetery, and then of course the last thing is like, "Oh, we'll never forget you." And then me and Chris
we never heard of him again.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's ever mentioned this character again. Of course, it was pretty crazy.
That would be awesome if, like, sometime, like in the near future, there's just an extra grave in the in the back. I'm like, oh yeah, remember that a-hole kid?
The kid who lived with us for a couple weeks and just got killed off. Yeah, but again, it's pre-crisis, so I mean,
well, everything counts now.
Oh, true.
Supposedly, allegedly.
Oh my God! Make him the new villain that shows up with bandages on his face.
Right? He's the guy that kills Joker. He's like, I did something you could never do, Batman. Suck it.
That's jeez. All right, Lil. So, what's your next choice?
My next choice in general would be the short miniseries from 1983, but I thought that the first issue of Green Arrow #1 from 1983 is a really good way to cover the origin. And the writer was Mike Barr, somebody that doesn't really come up in conversation when you talk Green Arrow stories, so I thought that was really important to bring up. The penciler was Trevor Von Eden. The inker was Dick Giordano. Now I sound like Phil trying to pronounce Italian last names. He also did the cover. Colors by Tim Zuico. I can't speak today. I'm sorry. And of course, letters by John Costanza.
Nice.
So yeah, this one is where it's called All My Sins Remembered, and it's basically he inherits a fortune from a deceased friend, but that money makes him a target for the killer that wants the money.
Oh, we need the money.
Exactly. So yeah.
Oh no, that's Russell commenting. Russell, I thought you were getting some sleep.
Poor thing.
He became my favorite DC. Oh, is Green Arrow your favorite DC character, Russell? Oh, that's right. He did send me written feedback. So we'll.
Oh yeah, I was gonna remind you. Don't worry. I was gonna remind you.
Okay.
He sent it in a while ago, so.
I know that's what.
We can always count on Russell for feedback.
Exactly.
Oh, but I do want to also say I think that the editorial by Lynn Wein is great. It's called The Amazing Archer's Odyssey. Definitely, I think is why I picked this issue out of all four of them. It was just really great to see somebody actually like care about Green Arrow again, I guess. because he went on to be the editor of that whole thing. So for a while, so.
I'm trying to remember, like, I mean, back in like the 40s and stuff, he was, Green
He
Arrow.
was literally Green Batman, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why he had Speedy right out of the gate. He literally had an arrow cave, an arrow car, the whole deal. And then when that shtick stopped being funny, they sent him into space, and then the whole team up stuff for a while.
But I was gonna say he didn't have like his own book for the longest, but like
for
decades.
a very long time. Yeah, he was backup stories. Yeah.
So.
And honestly, sometimes, especially in that era, Green Arrow was best done in small doses.
True. I mean, you don't think he could have held his own book from like, I don't know, 70s or something?
No.
It's
a time and a place, and you just have to, like, comic books are all about timing, honestly, when you think about it. You just have to kind of read the room and know.
Yeah, but if it was modern comics, they would have spun him into his own series after Hard Traveling Hero.
Honestly, I regrettably they didn't. And I think that's why modern comic books are the way that they are. They see the L's that they took, but then they force things into, places that they don't belong.
Because I'm surprised, like, they didn't do that, even though that was, like, what, the 70s? Because it's like, if you say, oh, hey, do you ever read a Green Arrow comic? If anyone knows any Green Arrow from anything, it's usually, oh, Hard Traveling Heroes.
Yeah. Which is why I didn't put it on the list.
I know, but I'm just surprised even in the 70s they didn't, like, spin him his own book out of that.
Well, the 70s were paper thin margins of profit as well, too. So they very much did, stick with what was selling and didn't want to take risks.
And wasn't that like the end of the 70s? Was that DC implosion or whatever?
Yeah. And just general economic downturn as well in the 70s with the oil crisis and stuff like that. So
true. So another time, maybe he would have gotten his own book.
There's a timeline somewhere where Green Arrow is bigger than Batman. Absolutely.
Oh my!
I wish I lived in that timeline. I thought I was gonna live in that timeline with Arrow, but the show kind of ruined it.
I was gonna say Ray's favorite timeline. I love Batman.
He probably hates Green Arrow too. just out of sheer spite.
I guarantee you, he probably doesn't know much about it. I don't know if he's ever read any Green Arrow, but I guarantee you. Yeah, I mean, he's told me, he's like, I'll give any DC a chance. He just doesn't want to read any Batman. Poor kid. That's most of DC's line these days.
Yeah, seriously.
What the F? All right, so you want me to throw another one out?
Of course.
All right. All right, we'll jump ahead a little bit. I put Longbow Hunters number 2 on this, and you may be like, "Why 2? Why not number 1?"
I know why.
I mean, I know he probably did before, but this is like when it really struck me. It's like, oh, hey, Green Arrow kills,
and he makes no apologies for it either. So.
Oh no, well, in that situation, would you?
No.
I mean, basically, Black Canary gets captured and tortured, and and these jerks are basically having fun with torturing a woman, and all of a sudden, you can only do this in like a comic. I just love when like the arrows, like all of a sudden you just see the arrow sticking out of the guy's chest. Oliver shot him from behind. There's just blood dripping from this arrow. It's like, oh, I guess I'm dead now.
You shot me with an arrow.
You a-hole. But I can't remember if she was in the first one. But again, this 3-issue series introduced Shadow too and stuff, and
rapist.
Oh, true. Yeah.
See, just like Batman.
Oh man, they love it. DC loves raping their male characters. Batman, Green Arrow, Nightwing. I mean, yeah, if you're like a human level character, man, they're gonna throw a woman on top of you whether you want it or not.
Yikes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at it.
I'm just gonna go ahead and call that the Dido effect. Hashtag fight me. Yes, take a drink or mark your bingo card. That was Dido slander.
Although you can't blame him for the Green Arrow one, at least.
I know.
Was he working on a fetish or something?
Ain't no telling.
I don't know, but yeah, like I said, I mean that one for me that marks modern Green Arrow for me. just everything I always think of. I know it probably isn't, but everything before that I think of as like Silver Age, and then everything after that I think of as modern.
I could see why you think that, yeah.
And once again, just the killing. I was just like, oh yeah, this guy's not bad. Was that you think that was intentional? Where it's like, hey kids, this ain't Batman.
Well, also, that's that whole he's a hunter. He's an
Yeah.
urban hunter, and you got to do what you got to do. He doesn't have that luxury. The type of people that he goes up against, it's either kill or be killed. They're not here to play games,
And again, it was the start of like that Grell stuff where it's just like, oh yeah, they kind of like made it a more mature book, and it's just
yeah, where the stakes were actually really high. So
no more trick arrows. Yeah, man.
Which hurt my soul a little bit, but I understood, and I thought it was implemented in a very good fashion.
Yeah. You think they were just like, oh yeah, man. Again, after Crisis, they're just like, yeah, we got to like mature these books somewhat.
Yeah, I think so.
And did you like
also for the money too?
Well, of course it's always about the money, though.
And you can't do that with you couldn't do that with Batman back then.
Yeah.
Now we have Black Label, and it's all Batman being garbage. But looking at you, Batman Reptilian. But
well, again, too. I mean, Batman was still selling merch, and they're
very wholesome. The Super Friends, things like that.
Yeah, Green Arrow. I mean, there was no TV.
You really
show.
had nothing to lose at that point with him.
He really wasn't too much of a household name unless you read comics. So it's like, yeah, let's do it.
I think it worked out great for the character in the long run.
Oh yeah, I think it helped it more than hurt him. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like
although
I said,
the sidekick Speedy, I will never understand it. Other than just to have a Robin pastiche, I will never understand it.
Well, again, that was from the era when he was Green Batman. Yeah,
I know. But Speedy, Green Arrow, like I don't.
Well, we kind of explained it. Drugs, come on.
Cocaine's out.
Oh,
it was, to be fair, yeah.
Everyone loves cocaine.
They used to prescribe that.
Coca-Cola.
So my next pick is actually going to another 70s story. Surprise, surprise. The Flash 217 from September 1992. This is written by Denny O'Neil, penciler Neil Adams. This is quite a classic team up. Again, we got Dick Giordano, we got Joe Lettersacey on the letters. Imagine that. And then Julia Schwartz as the editor. This is again a backup story. It is called The Killing of an Archer. This is so what happens is that Oliver is tracking a thug through Star City. He gets ambushed and outnumbered. And then, he also had that arm injury from a couple of issues ago. So his archery's kind of off. And he doesn't really want to, risk it. And then he misses a shot and kills the sniper. And he's just absolutely devastated. So, yeah. And then you for some reason, we go to Coast City and, he gets a call and then Dina comes and checks on him and then Hal's like, oh my god, I can't believe this. And yeah, he's shredded his costume, he's broken his arrows, he's out.
Oh.
And then this is also where they plant that bomb in the cellar as revenge. And then it's like, did he die? And we're left on a cliffhanger for a while, so.
And again, I guess you could do stories like that where it's like it's not Batman, so it's like, oh, would we kill off
He
Green
could
Arrow?
die. And he did die. Spoilers.
What,
and also spoilers. There are no Connor Hawk stories in my list. Phil's like, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So yeah, so you have two backup stories on your list, which is fine, but it's like so a lot of his
they were see, that's what I mean. It was from the my favorite stuff is 70s Green Arrow, and it just happened to be at a time that, like I said, the backup stories, it wasn't that much pressure. You didn't have to do 22, 23, pages of story, so you could be more concise and to the point.
I mean, at some point we're gonna have to cover some of these backup stories because I mean the Green Arrow stories. Remember when we did that Wonder Woman special? Those Huntress backups. I mean, yeah. If you look at some of these 70s DC, I mean, there's some decent back stories in those backups.
back in the day. They didn't know how good they had it back then.
Oh my god, you could have did a whole podcast on backup stories.
The Replacements.
I think Russell beat us to it, but anyway.
Nice.
But yeah, all right. Do you want me to get to my next one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, I think Lilith Hellfire gave me a great intro for this next story. All right, we're gonna jump ahead to like the late '90s here.
You
And
don't
again-
say. Phil's favorite time in comics.
The image I'm putting up is from the issue before, so shut up. But the one on my list is JLA number 9. Like I said, from the late '90s. Yes, Lilith, it's a Connor Hawke story.
I know.
You're welcome. So no, I mean this again. It's Grant Morrison, so it's wacky.
Well, his
weird.
stuff with Justice League, actually, I can respect it. When Connor joined the Justice League, I actually enjoyed it. He had a good dynamic, but his solo stories, bleh.
And again, like I've said before, it's like you got to respect Grant Morrison because he really had to put up with everyone else's crap from the monthly books because it's like, you know, if he wanted to use Oliver, he couldn't because Connor Hawke was Green Arrow in the books. You know, he had to deal with Electric Superman.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, sometime, Tyler just shivered.
So yes, I mean, you gotta give Grant Morrison respect. I mean, he crafted a hell of some stories when he just had to deal with everyone else's baggage from the monthly books. You know, all of a sudden it's like, oh hey, Wonder Woman's
Well,
dead.
I never
Yay.
said the man didn't have talent. Okay.
Yeah, but like I said, this two-parter was so wacky and weird. It was a Grant Morrison, but yeah, the key comes back and puts the rest of the Justice League in like these virtual reality dreams. I don't know if he's like drawn power off of them, and so yeah, the only one left in the Watchtower to try to take down the key is Connor, and he runs out of arrows and he has to like raid Oliver's trick arrows from like the trophy case and stuff. Because spoiler alerts, yes, the boxing glove arrow does make an appearance in this story.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I love the dichotomy. It's just like, you know, Connor Hawke was very much a down-to-earth hero, but he's taken out like this. He's taken out the key, who's like basically almost becoming cosmic levels. You know, it's the typical Grant Morrison. I'm unlocking the levels of my mind and going to take, you know.
Smoke the doobie?
Seriously, yeah, it's like I'm gonna.
They don't call him Green Arrow for nothing.
I will take down these heroes because I'm unlocking my mind, and seeing into other universes. You know, it just, you know, typical Grant Morrison stuff. And I just love that it's like, you know, for once it's not Batman. It's, you know, it's even more, you know, down to earth Connor Hawke taking down the key. But yes, definitely.
Smoke the doobie.
So did you read this before? You said, right, Love?
Oh yeah, I mean I've read all the Connor Hawke stuff. That's how I know I hate it.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, at least you.
But like I said, the Justice League stuff is solid. I'll give them that.
Yeah. And definitely one day I want to get the Rock of Ages, which we're.
Oh yeah, I definitely think we'll get there.
I think we're saving that for an anniversary, something or other. But yeah, but
actually, shouldn't we probably plan on that for like Black Adam or something like that?
wait, Rock of Ages. Black Adam's on in that, isn't he?
What am I thinking of then?
I don't know. No, the Rock of Ages I'm thinking about is JLA. What is that, 10 through 16 or something?
Oh, okay.
You know, it's like that Lex and the Injustice, whatever, and then future stuff too. Yeah, no,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, no, really, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I believe that's the end of that story is when one of your favorites joins the JLA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of that one Captain Marvel story, probably. I mean,
Okay.
Shazam story. Sorry.
Yeah, we'll get to we'll get to all that. Stay tuned, kids. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to throw that on there. That one always like sticks out to me. It was like, you know, again, like you said, I think it's one of the better Connor Hawke stories. So.
Hey, if you like Connor, that's up to you, buddy.
Well, I said it's one of the better Connor Hawke ones.
You know how I feel about legacy characters, so
know.
I'm just like, I'm such a stickler. I'm like,
You know how I feel about legacy characters are.
I I barely like Supergirl, if we're gonna be really honest.
Hey, oh,
You know what? I take it back. I love Donna Troy. I love all the Wonder Girls. Actually, they are actually very well done as legacy characters. So,
but again, it's like with Supergirl. It's like, what have they ever really? What good story?
Power Girl is greater than Supergirl. There, I said it, and I don't mean just because of the boob window. I mean just as a character, way better. We don't need Supergirl in the modern era. We just don't.
Again, they just need to give her something good. It's like, what's the most iconic thing you think of when you say Supergirl? Oh, she died in crisis.
Horse.
Oh, I was gonna. Whoa.
Not even that. Her horse.
She got horse on the brink. But no, it's just like, oh, hey, she died in crisis, saving everything. Okay. Because it's like, yeah, Barry Allen did that too, but Barry Allen did more things than that.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess this might be a controversial pick for some people. I know it was controversial when it happened. So my next pick is going to be Justice League. Cry for Justice #7. This is where Leanne Harper dies, and he goes ape shit. And this is why I tell you guys, you don't want to piss off Oliver Queen. This is case in point, baby. This was the Cry for Justice whole situation is like, I couldn't believe they were doing it at the time. You know?
Yeah, but that was
this is from 2010, and yeah.
Well, that was spinning out of that dark era of like identity crisis, and then they're, you know.
Yeah, and I think I really do like the follow up to this, which is the Rise and Fall situation that comes after this one. So, but yeah, this one was just like the whole Cry for Justice. If you haven't read it, I recommend it. It's, even though it's from 2010, which was a rough time for DC, I thought that, all things considered, under the circumstances, it's an excellent story. It's a focus on Oliver Queen, so naturally I'm gonna like it. But yeah, it's heartbreaking. It has highs, it has lows. It almost made me cry.
Well, it's 2010 too. So did they know New 52's coming? So do you think at this point they were just like, oh yeah, go nuts, kid, because we're wiping all this out anyway?
I definitely, when you look in retrospect, you can see that. But I don't know. Like, I feel like that. Also, this is from a writing team. Or just a whole bunch of people that we just really haven't heard from again. James Robinson wrote the story. We got Scott Clark. There's a lot of people that don't work for DC anymore. So,
oh yeah,
take that how you want to take that.
But I mean, even good stuff and not so good stuff from DC, like that era, it almost screams.
It was balls to the walls towards 2010 for sure. You could tell that something was going on, but you couldn't quite tell. You're like, oh, we're just gonna do another 0 hour, right?
I mean, more so. I mean, they were, the whole plan was, they're just going to start fresh with New 52. But again, it's like,
that just never, it didn't work out for them.
Well, it's just so weird too, because it's like they didn't want to it was just like, hey, when we jump in for the most of the books are going to be.
It's like, if you want to make an Ultimates universe, just say that. Just do it. It doesn't have to be an event, bro.
But except for some of the that first Justice League arc and the Action Comics, it's like they jump into this universe 5 years in, and it's just like,
which was stupid. Like I said, if you want to do they saw the success of the Ultimates universe at Marvel, and they just didn't know how to implement it. That's all.
Yeah, and again, they're like, oh no, don't worry about those first 5 years. We'll fill you in as we go, and it's just like,
for specials, we're gonna milk you nerds for even more money.
Well, then too, I think the different writers didn't know what was going on, so you get conflicting, stuff. But you know what it was? They didn't want to have to wait and plot all that out, and we have to wait at least a year or two before we bring Harley Quinn in, because Harley Quinn's not there day one.
We're not waiting on our cash cow. Are you crazy?
Yeah, stuff like that. They don't want to wait to bring in all those legacy characters. They're like, no.
And the fact that they did, they even still death in the family and all that stuff had happened, and it was just you can't have your cake and eat it too. You just can't.
I know they wanted all the Robins, and it's like, we're only 5.
It's like he's supposed to be 25, right? Everybody's 25, right?
And again, too, if we're only 5 years into this universe, so it's basically like, oh, so Bruce Wayne's had a Robin every year.
Yikes!
Yeah, that don't sound too
yeah, when you put it in perspective, it was an absolute.
It's a cluster.
It made my head hurt almost as bad as Convergence.
It was a cluster. I don't know.
Convergence is the dirty word, guys.
Oh, now they'll never do like a full reboot. They'll never even admit they're rebooting. They're just like, oh hey, but they slowly just wind everything back.
Yeah.
Try to find me stuff from New 52 now, kids, in current continuity. Except for the whole everything mattered.
Well, Maury's lie detector test determined that was a lie.
What? Everything mattered?
Yeah, nothing really matters. Let's be honest.
Nothing really matters. I know.
What about your next pick?
All right.
2010 just gets me going because it's like New 52's on the horizon. That's why everything's a mess.
All right, kids. Speaking of events,
Dun, dun, dun.
well, to help clean up the mess of speaking of New 52, to help clean up the mess, they did the Rebirth event, and
we thought we hit the jackpot at first, didn't we, Phil? We were so happy those first few months. We were happy kids.
Like with this
Can you
issue,
believe that was forever ago at this point too now?
that was like what that was 2016, so that was like 5 years ago. Do you believe that?
Bro, DC's gotta chill.
Hey, Tracksuit Mafia, bro. But yeah, Green Arrow Rebirth #1. Yeah, again, I threw this on the list because this brought us back to like somewhat classic Green Arrow, because they had de-aged the new.
Hey, look, man. I'll tell you like I tell everybody else about in regards to New 52. That whole Green Arrow and Aquaman were the best titles. That was the best thing to ever happen to those two titles.
Yeah. What's like some of them, like Batman and Green Lantern, it's like they
suffered.
Well, they
have too much history. Like that's the thing about Green Arrow. It's like, oh, he died like once or twice, but that doesn't really matter. That doesn't change the core character.
But it's like Batman and Green Lantern, they were selling so well because of what Jeff Johns was writing Green Lantern. It's like they didn't want to change stuff, so it's like, again, it's like
can't have your cake and eat it too. You either gotta poop or get off the pot.
Exactly. I mean, you can bring in elements like all those different colored lanterns and stuff, but yeah. Again, that's another problem why the formula didn't work, man. They wanted to reboot.
They have not had strong leadership from the top in damn near 30 years. Like, let's just be really real. Like, I'd say I'd go back as far as like 98 is the last time that I can really remember strong leadership from the top down that wasn't afraid to make the hard decisions.
Oh, yeah. Once Denny and some of those others were gone, yeah. I mean,
it changed. Yeah, the whole atmosphere changed. And when you start reading and realizing that certain people were allowed to do whatever they wanted and other people had way more harsh editorial mandates, and this is where we end up. But I wasn't a fan of Rebirth for Green Arrow specifically.
I mean, I do like it that we kind of got some classic elements back. Like, it's like he didn't seem as young again. It's like we brought back the goatee. We were working on that. Well, they still kind of are, but Bendis has it now. But his relationship with like Black Canary and stuff, and
that TV show really did damage to the Black Canary brand. And then the movie with Harley Quinn. Oh my God!
I know.
Such a shame. I mean, we did all that great work in Justice League.
But again,
and the movies to that point too, and Young Justice, and just for them to throw that all away.
Well, it's just the thing, man. They damaged those legacy characters because she was a legacy character. I mean, she's been around since what? She was one of those ones around since like 40 or 41, right?
Yep.
But again, they don't know what they. That was DC's advantage over Marvel. It's just like the legacy stuff and
just the sheer point that they've been around forever and they have all this history and have touched so many different generations.
And even again, it's like when you have multiple Flashes and stuff. It's like when they, what was that in the 70s or 80s where we're like, yeah, it's like the original Green or Black Canary was her mother, and then you get a legacy with the Black Canaries and stuff. But they kind of tossed that away too.
But no, it was okay. I was excited for it because, like I said, after the success of New 52, I was like, well, yeah, we could use a refresh. Plus, Arrow was like, on its way out and stuff, and they were just definitely trying to set a new, fresher tone. So I was excited about it. But when I look back, I'm just like, ooh.
I was just happy New 52 was over.
Yeah, basically. But again, like I said, it really was a great time for Green Arrow fans.
And
That's the only nice things that I will ever say. Aquaman and Green Arrow really came into their own during that time.
yeah, and again, like I said, any greatness we got after New 52 and stuff, I think it started with Rebirth. So
yeah.
Again, was this issue perfect? No, but I think it was the stepping stone to get us anything.
I thought that the art was really good, and I thought that the storytelling was competent, but also a little bit of a retread. And for Rebirth, I was just like, I kind of get that, but
again, too, they'll never admit their mistake, but I think they were trying to wind stuff back and bring more classic stuff back into it. So yeah. I mean, if it feels like it's been done before, it has, but they're kind of like, okay, again, without admitting it, they're like, okay,
what did they say? Don't call it a reboot, right?
Oh,
don't call it a refresh. Literally, that was the tagline.
Exactly. We're sorry.
And so my last choice is going to be a shout out to Speedy, the other Speedy, with the yellow cape. So we're talking Green Arrow number 45, New Blood part 7? No, part 6. Coming out, and this is about Mia having AIDS and, wanting to be in the spotlight and things like that. And I thought that this whole coming out, New Blood thing was an excellent story from start to finish.
Yeah.
Really inspirational, really well written, very thoughtful of the character's plight. I love Oliver's character interactions with Mia. Like, it was like a daughter and a sister and a friend. Like, it was something that we didn't really get to see him do with Black Canary, but we got to see him be different with Mia. And I really enjoyed that relationship. And it was different from Roy's relationship, even.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like the first time you basically, quote unquote, had a daughter, pretty much. Yeah. Because even Roy's daughter was basically more like a grandchild to him.
Yeah, poor Leanne. And Roy, I'm going to tell you, Roy and Wally are such whipping boys. I never forgive DC for making them the whipping boys.
That's what I said. They don't know what they hate. They don't know what to do with those legacy characters.
It's like, let them live peacefully in Titans universe. Like, let's just make Titans its own universe where the writers can't hurt them, please.
I mean, I think the only thing that saved Dick Grayson is he's tied into the Batman stuff.
I mean, he's better than Batman. They know.
Definitely.
They're like, nope, we're gonna make Tim the whipping boy for the Bat family. They're like, well, we did kill Jason, but literally Tim is the whipping boy.
And Dick Grayson.
Let's name him Drake and put him in a brown suit.
And Dick Grayson's basically like the first kid sidekick. And 2, if anybody knows any Robin, it's Dick Grayson. So yeah, they really can't mess with him.
Like once people realized that they were killing off Robin and it wasn't Dick, they were like, go do what you want. We don't care.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember news reports, people crying, "Oh, they're killing! How can they kill off Robin?" It's like, yeah,
it's not the Robin you think it is, idiot.
Yeah, it's just people who watched Batman '66. They thought they were killing off Dick Grayson. Oh, even
they're killing him.
Oh, it's like, remember Infinite Crisis? The Dido wanted to kill off Dick, and everyone was like, "No, don't you."
Look, that was the first time people actually stood up to the Dido. Okay.
Oh yeah, I think people in those offices were slapping him in the face, like, "No, you don't do that." Yeah, no. I think I heard a story. It's like, I think the Dido was going flying somewhere, and like the baggage handler in the airport was like, "I'll give you your bag, but you got to promise not to kill off Nightwing."
Nerds were everywhere, and we will find you.
But yeah, no, they said, they're like, okay, the plan was to kill Dick Grayson, then they couldn't do it, so then it's like Jeff Johns had to offer up one of his other favorite characters, Superboy, to take his place.
Well, and that all worked out in the end just fine.
Yeah, I mean,
but yeah, I do want to bring up that this one is Judd Winnick, which I feel like he gets overshadowed from Mike Grill and stuff, but it's like Phil Hester did the art, and Phil is just an absolute freaking legend when it comes to Green Arrow art for me.
Oh, yeah.
Way better than Jock. I said it. You can fight me if you want, but like Phil Hester, for me, is the quintessential artist for modern Green Arrow for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean,
I love his lines, his colors. He's very bold and dynamic. Even if it's like a subtle talking scene, he finds ways to bring kinetic movement into the panels. I just really like Phil Hester, man.
Oh yeah, I mean, I love that whole series. What was that, like 75 issues? I mean, it started with Kevin Smith, but I mean, yeah, and then
he definitely lifted that guy up a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit. I mean, a lot.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, I remember I love that whole series. And again, like you said, yeah, Hester killed it on that art.
Yeah, but I definitely had to throw some Judd in here because, like I said, he gets
Yeah.
overlooked in the modern era for sure, for whatever reason.
Yeah, he did some good stuff, and
Especially with Sorrentino and all, and all those guys and Lemire and all that. Now, I think Judd definitely gets left out of the conversation, unfortunately.
oh yeah,
But this was some of his best work, hands down, anywhere. So
yeah.
if you haven't read it, I recommend it.
Oh, and then even between that Kevin Smith stuff and Winnick stuff, or what was it? Meltzer was in there, did an arc in there too.
Yeah. It's always funny. It's like, oh yeah, Meltzer. Like, I'm so used to his like actual like long form like books like now that like sometimes when I'm reading and I'm like, oh yeah, you used to do comics, buddy. I have like all of his books, so it's always like really funny when I'm like reading a comic book and I'm like, wait a minute.
Because he made some cringy choices in Identity Crisis, but I mean, his Green Arrow wasn't bad.
No, not at all. And like Green Arrow's a very hard character to screw up because he has been so solidly written since like the 70s.
And it was
there's very much a through line that you can follow.
Yeah. And his Green Arrow story was more sentimental. It's basically like him and Roy on a road trip.
Yeah. And, he gave Roy a lot of justice and depth, too, which I think is what I appreciate probably the most. So.
True.
Because Roy, man, he was just literally like just bobbing along in a colorful costume being cannon fodder. just a quintessential Robin, man.
I mean, when you think about it, Roy Harper was the original Jason Todd. I mean, he was just like, the Dick Grayson clone.
Which is why, hey, man, to be fair, which is why they kind of teamed them up, is what I always thought. That's a match made in heaven. I loved when they put those two together in that comic book. I thought that comic, I was really sad when that ended.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, once again, I'm sorry, kids. Yeah, the greatness of Dick Grayson. I mean, look how many characters we kind of cloned off him, and now they're.
Look at you, Winter Soldier.
Oh, hey, Dick Grayson showed up before Bucky in the comics. Yeah,
exactly.
All right, ready for my last pick?
Yep. So we can get to that 80th.
And our announcements. All right.
There will be no announcement. Silence.
Out there? What? You're still not sure about it?
No, I'm kidding.
All right. So, once again from the Rebirth era, Green Arrow number 29. Again, just like with the Brave and the Bold issue, I think this was the modern.
What's that say at the top?
Hard traveling hero.
Let's try to generate some goodwill with some classic stuff from better writers.
Oh, burn. Yeah.
No shade.
Once again, trying to get from that, but it's like, yeah, it's kind of another mini road trip. But again, this was the modern take of it, like, hey, let's compare and contrast Green Arrow and Batman. And I did like the art.
They're so far removed from each other at this point. There's no need.
I know, but again,
Oliver Queen is the better billionaire. Always will be. Always has been.
But of course, you're always counting on a bump from a Batman appearance, But no,
I think it worked.
Yeah. But I like the art in this, especially in this era. Yeah, I thought Green Arrow had some really good artists on here, and again, it's just like this was like good modern Green Arrow. Again, I mean,
at this point, honestly, it's postmodern. At this point,
that's true. Yeah, because I was about to like disparage Green Arrow, New 52 Green Arrow, but no, even Green Arrow had some good arcs in that New 52, like that one we covered.
Oh yeah,
way back in the day.
We covered a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Longbow Hunters, you got it.
Yes. Yeah, like I said, it was just some of the modern stuff I liked about Green Arrow. Man, he needs a book again.
Well, Aquaman stole his place.
I know. I mean, oh yeah, because we're getting a great what is it, Aquaman book or something or
something. I mean, I heard that the Caldor book is doing really good, so I get it.
Yeah, so meanwhile, Garth's like, what the hell?
Garth was never that interesting.
How come too? Yeah. I mean, why can't... again, I know we're all...
Garth was the lamest of all the sidekicks. There are said it. I'm sorry. Garf makes me want to barf.
Well, I mean, look, when they reinvented Titans in the in 1980, guess who didn't get an invite?
Who didn't cut the mustard?
I mean, look at it. It's like, hey, Dick's there, Wally's there, Dawn is there. Oh, hey, wait, who are we missing? Aquaman Jr. But again, I know we're living in Batman's world, but why can't Aquaman and Green Arrow have a book? Separate book.
Well, baby doll, DC is running out of money.
Oh.
They're doing bad, bro. Like, the whole Warner's Discovery Plus merger has a lot of things on the back burner. Comics are definitely not a priority. That's why we have a million Batman books, because they know that will sell. Like, even Superman books aren't selling the way they need to be, so...
I mean, they're not in, like, 90s
There's no
Marvel.
TV show. There's no synergy to be had. There's no Green Arrow merch. You know what I mean? So he's not like a real big merch seller. Even when they had their own TV show, we really didn't get Green Arrow or Arrow merch.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, they're not in 90s Marvel.
T-shirts make like if your T-shirt sales aren't solid, you can't have that's what funds the comic books these days. So.
Yeah.
Business, man.
But I mean, they have Warner's behind them. They're not in like 90s Marvel position, are they?
Warner's really doesn't even want anything to do with the comic book section at this point.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's getting bad. Like AT&T, ever since that whole AT&T takeover and the Discovery Plus merger, like that's been in a holding pattern. Yeah. You look what happened to Epics. Gone. You're done. We're taking Pennyworth and you're out of here.
Oh my.
I mean, I'm surprised that HBO Max hasn't just completely merged and they get rid of HBO and everything's just HBO Max.
I thought that was the plan. Was
I mean, but HBO by itself is such a brand.
Yeah.
The HBO Max is kind of tacky, if we're going to be honest.
What, the name?
Yeah. Doesn't really instill confidence.
No, but all of them now are Plus or Max or.
No, everybody's Plus except for HBO and Netflix.
Oh, really? Oh.
AMC Plus, Peacock Plus. Well, everybody's run with that Plus thing, and I'm just like, well, you don't even have a regular Peacock, so what makes it Plus? Like, I don't understand.
There is a free version of Peacock. You get some of this stuff.
You get one episode of each show, and then you gotta pay.
Oh no,
right?
no. Like I know we just put the free one on there because The Office, they'll give you the first 5 seasons for free, but then if you want the last 4, you got to pay.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think in the beginning they were doing that one episode thing, and I don't know if they weren't generating anything. So yeah, so like I know with The Office, they'll give you the first half of the series for free, and then for the second half you got to pay.
Oh, okay.
So that's a little better.
But you still got commercials though, right?
Yeah, but it's not bad. It's like a 10-second ad or something. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's not like a million of them.
I got my subscription free for like 2 years free or something. So I don't know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like last year's Black Friday deal or something.
Oh yeah, who was doing? Oh, they say Netflix or somebody was doing really cheap subscription.
Oh no, everybody. It was AMC Plus. You could get what was it, like $1.99 a month for a year. And that included like whatever else AMC is tied into. And then Disney Plus had supposedly a really good Black Friday deal for Hulu and their little bundle that they do.
But yeah, I thought I guess it's probably gonna be a thing every year now where they're just gonna give so is that like a discount on a year subscription?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if that was just like month for like a month or two.
I don't even know what I would watch on AMC. Besides, Kevin Can Go F himself, and that's not even back out yet.
Well, I think they give you first. It was only before. It was only a day or two, but now I think they let you watch Walking Dead like a week early or something.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that's how Diana Marnell do it. Yeah, I think they'll give you all the new Walking Dead.
That's crazy because
yeah.
Hulu, it used to let you watch, not Hulu, before they took over FX. FX, you could watch American Horror Story like 6 hours early or something like that.
Huh.
That's
And
crazy. People are getting wild out here.
And I think it's like a package deal. Like if you buy AMC, I think you get
Yeah, I forget what it comes with, but it does come with
a
another
few
subscription.
channels. Yeah,
I think it's Shudder, AMC, and something else. I can't think about because I was tempted because it was Shudder.
yeah. Because I don't know if it's that one or a different one, but I think BBC's on somebody's package too. Hell,
Philip, that's my line. I'm the Blue Chew sponsor here.
oh my god.
Can we get a green chew for Green Arrow?
There you go. I was gonna say
Synergy.
I think they just do that because blue. Viagra. All right. Do we want to get to the anniversary issue?
Definitely. Although I do want to say I like the ad for the second best dynamic duo, Blue and Gold. I thought that was really cute.
The greatest heroes you never knew. All right. So what did you think of this, Lilith?
I thought it was good. I think my favorite favorite story is Star City Star because it's Phil Hester who wrote the story, and then Andy Parks, who is another person that gets left out of the Green Arrow conversation. Glad to see him back. Did the art, well, at least the inks, and that was my favorite story. And then followed by Tom Taylor's Punching Evil, and I really liked Happy Anniversary as well.
Oh yeah,
those are the three standout stories for me.
Yeah, I was about to mention the Punching Evil.
Also, Sympathy of the Woods, Benjamin Percy, Otto Schmidt.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing I thought was good about this issue that they failed to do in like the Aquaman issue is just
this is like a who's who, honestly.
And you got stories from different eras. Like that first story is very golden age.
I think they pulled more from like that Wonder Woman kind of style of the anniversary for this.
Because you can definitely tell like which era each story is set in and stuff.
Yeah.
Because you got golden age, you got the Silver Age stuff, including like him up on that Justice League satellite and stuff.
And I did manage to find all of the covers except for the 40s decade. So if anybody wants to sell me the 40s decade variant, please find me on my social medias.
Wait, you bought them all except for one?
The 40s one was the only one I couldn't find.
So you have them all except for that one?
Yep.
No!
If I can do it for Batman and I can do it for Superman, I'm damn sure gonna do it for Green Arrow.
True. So how many covers did this one have?
40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, 2010s. Yeah, it had 8.
Okay. I was gonna say Batman and Superman had more than that, didn't they?
Yeah, they had 10, didn't they?
Oh, did they? I thought maybe it was more than that for Batman.
I mean, like the main 10 variants, and then I think there were like some special like whatever, 1 in like 1,000 cover variants or something like that. But I mean, the main 10 that they sold in the package, I'm pretty sure.
Gentle with that package. No, I mean,
I'm getting packages all day. Sorry,
I'm getting a package every other day.
But no, I mean, I guess that's not too bad for something like this if you just do one cover for each like decade and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, and I don't mean this to fit anybody else, but the 60s cover of Matt Neal albums is my favorite, hands down. So, I thought that was just such a fitting tribute.
Yeah, I mean, here I didn't pull it out Hale, but yeah, I just got the regular cover. They
were all really spectacularly done. I was surprised they actually went all out like this for Green Arrow. All things considered, what they did with Aquaman. So,
yeah, I mean, it seems like they actually put effort in the Green Arrow and the Wonder Woman one. Aquaman, it just seemed like people were just like, oh, fine, I'll do it.
Yeah, definitely. That's what it seemed like.
Which you could hear when we covered it. Scroll down, kids.
Yeah, this is definitely. I think this is even more well done than Wonder Woman. I'm just gonna put it out there.
That's gonna be my next question. Was this better than Wonder
Woman? And I liked Wonder Woman well enough, but this one was just so well put. I think it also because Denny O'Neil had just recently passed away too. That kind of reinvigorated a lot of passion for the character, and a lot of people wanted to kind of like come out, show their support and stuff like that. Because like I'm just telling you, Denny is like a definitive name in Green Arrow for sure. So.
I mean, I think this one would be a great primer. Like if you wanted to get in the Green Arrow, it kind of gives you a flavor of like every era.
Yeah.
So that's what these things should be. It should be an ad for every, every era of your character. So, and I think this one hit the mark on that point.
Hell,
Oh,
punny business back in effect.
that's right, Speedy.
Suck it, Kona.
Oh, he's the foil loan. He's leaving the country soon. Come on.
They're letting him out.
I just don't know if they'll let him back in.
That's why I haven't gone anywhere, to be honest.
Yeah, she just has guests at home and gets sick. Hey, well,
Yeah, kids, man.
I don't know. My immune system must be built up pretty well now. So,
Well, I literally hadn't had like guests in like a year.
nothing to say,
I don't
man.
really go out either, so yeah.
Your immune system let itself relax. It's like, man, there ain't no any humans around here. Just a bunch of dogs. All right. So should we get to our big announcement?
Yeah, if you want, it's fine.
Oh,
No
why?
big
Do you
deal.
have more to say on the 80th?
No, pick it up, buy it.
Yes. Yeah. I would say, yeah.
I need a new Green Arrow series. Please go buy the 80th anniversary issue. It's not fair that Aquaman has a freaking book and Green Arrow doesn't. It's just not right.
pick
Don't
up
sit
every
right in my spirit.
pick up every cover.
If you can afford it.
Yeah.
Afford it.
Yeah. Again, between those three, I think Green Arrows was the best one. So, and again, if you want to get in the Green Arrow, read it. It's kind of give you like the quick Reader's Digest version of everything that's come before. All right, kids, we've been teasing this for what? Probably at least 2 months now, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely 2 months.
So yes, kids. Well, first the bad news. This is probably going to be the final episode. I mean, except for like it may be a special or something. This is going to be the final episode of Comic Capers. Aww. But in its place, replacing the twice a month Comic Capers, you're going to be getting a weekly Justice Society Justice League podcast.
Unlimited justice!
That's right, kids. So yes, just look in this time slot every week and you'll guess. And I was completely down for the idea, but yes, this thing spawned from the mind of Lilith Hellfire herself. So
Justice for Justice League. Y'all know who inspired it. Bendis, Bendis, Bendis.
I thought you were
Take a drink and mark your bingo card.
and then Zack Snyder, but okay.
That too.
Spend this.
Oh my god.
Although, if you compare the two, give me a 4-hour movie over Rogozar any day.
Ooh.
Burn.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Hey kids, come join us for our new game, F Mary Bendis. So once a week, kids. Again, no more of this twice a month thing. Once a month, we'll be covering something either Justice Society, Justice League, or both. So,
and also the last week of the month we'll be doing Justice League, the cartoon series. So we'll be reviewing an episode of that. So if you want to play along at home, feel free.
That's right, kids. So not just comics. Once a month we'll be getting a episode in order, an episode of Justice League the animated series, or it'll be Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. So,
well, it's just branded under Justice League Unlimited now. At least the DVD, yeah.
Okay, so all right, so Justice League Unlimited, kids.
I think that's how it is on HBO Max too, if I'm not mistaken.
Can't remember. It might be. Yeah, it might be. It might just be. Oh, here's season 1, 2, 3, 4.
And 3, yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, anything else you want to tell the kids about this little Hellfire?
Nope. Just go ahead and send in your feedback. Your Justice League feedback. Tell us your favorite stories, your favorite characters, your favorite episodes, even.
Yeah, definitely for the first episode. Send those in, kids. I was bringing up the schedule. All right, yes. So here we go for January, kids. Again, this is the first week of January. We're going to be hitting you with this. So first episode, of course, we're going to be covering All-Star Comics number 3 and Brave and the Bold 28. So the first Justice League story and the first Justice Society story and first Justice League story. So send your thoughts on those. And then episode 2 will be the last days of the Justice Society special number 1. Week 3, JLA Age of Wonder 1 and 2. And of course, last week of the month, so we'll be covering that first episode of Justice League, Secret Origins Part 1. And Ray's favorite character does show up, so.
I love Batman.
Don't scare him off.
I know.
Don't even warn Ray about that, bro.
There will be limited to no Batman, Ray, so come in, join us. All right. So should we hit him with the email, or do you have anything else, Little Hellfire?
Nope, let's do it.
Hey, it's the end of our Comic Capers journey. Although
it's been fun!
Although somewhere along the line we might have to do an official last episode, because this was 124. And my OCD's kicking in. So yeah, we should be like, yes, episode ended at 125.
Fine, Philip. He's made the executive decision. You know what? We can do it. We can do the Flash series finale. Not series finale. Season finale.
Ooh.
As the 125.
Oh, hi. All right.
I'll give you that, Philip. I'll suffer through that for you.
So what? Look for that in the spring, kids. Oh, my Lord. So, hey, extra sized 125. We'll put a hologram cover on it. Come on.
Oh, it's going to be the season finale. It's going to be damn sure exercised.
Maybe we should pick a Flash issue to cover with it, too.
Maybe. We'll see how I feel.
Well, maybe we'll just be like, here's the current Flash comic.
Better than this.
All right, kids. So, yes. So, send your thoughts. Come for the grand opening of Unlimited Justice. Email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, kids, you will be able to find Unlimited Justice on Facebook, on Twitter. Find links for all the various social medias for all of our shows. Oh, including the Facebook fan group DC Omniverse. So that's where we'll be dropping all this stuff, the fan group. So, yes, find links to all the social medias. Find links to this YouTube channel, because once again, you get videos for all the episodes. So, once again, we're getting close to a milestone number. So, yeah, please help us get over there. And over
the hump.
And also, most importantly, if you're going to subscribe one place, please subscribe to the Patreon. Once again, we are paying for this.
We're not billionaires like Oliver Queen.
Yeah, no, we're not being funded by like the Justice League by Oliver Queen. So yes, if you can, subscribe to the Patreon. Every little bit helps. Once again, shout out to our patrons Ray, Justin, and Russell. And again, you get exclusive content, creator interviews. We talk to DG Chichester every month. Superhero movie brackets are coming in 2022, so stay tuned for that. And again, so much more, and it's all completely uncensored. So, yes, please subscribe to the Patreon, or if you just want to buy some merch, buy yourself some Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch.
Definitely gotta get me a Sidekicks tank top.
Oh my!
And a wine glass.
Oh my God! We did an episode.
We call that the Ray special.
I was going to say we need an episode of you and Ray. Hey, I'll throw on a tank top. All of us in tank tops. You and Ray drinking some wine.
You can drink your green tea. It's fine.
I can put it in a wine glass, maybe. Oh my God, these fancy kids drinking their wine. All right, so yes, find links to all of it, all in one place. That's Linktree, linktr.ee/capes and lunatics. All right, Love Hellfire, where can people find you?
If you guys want to gush about Green Arrow and Oliver Queen on the interwebs with me, find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire, on Instagram at Lilith Hellfire69, and of course, the mega spicy comments on the TikTok at Lilith Hellfire69. Duh. It's so salty. He's so petty.
Bigger is better.
All right,
That's
kids.
what Black Canary said. Hey.
Hey-oh.
I just want to have fun on a broom.
Oh my.
It's not October.
All right, kids. You're gonna be hearing this a lot coming up. So.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Justice.
Meanwhile, that's the outro. You're gonna wait. You gotta come back for episode 1 to get the intro, kids. So.
Ooh, Gelman's getting fancy.
Mikey Flash is getting fancy. That's right, kids. Theme song once again by Mikey Flash. But yeah, come back in 1 week for all your Flash or your Justice League and Justice Society news. Catch you later, Bunky.
Be our friend, our super friends.